Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you saw by the title, today's gonna be a little bit heavy in terms to topic. This is something that I've honestly been thinking about discussing for a week now, but I was contemplating about whether or not to put it onto my podcast or just onto my YouTube channel. And I decided that ultimately, I think you guys would appreciate it being on both pages. As, the podcast, I could go into depth. But with my YouTube, I think I'm going to keep it as short as possible because I don't want to bore you guys out. But I just wanted to talk in regards to entering a season of singleness. Now, if you are from my TikTok, one thing I became popular for was being loved. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lovely season of my life. It is so nice just being loved. But I am now entering a season of singleness. And with the way the world is, sometimes the idea of being single is taunting and ugh, why are you not in a relationship? But there is always a beauty with being single and just loving your space and loving yourself. Now, if you ask me in regards to love, one thing I will say is growing up, I wholeheartedly believe I wasn't capable of love. I always thought to myself, wow, I'm never going to be able to show love, you know? And the beauty about love for me personally is you give and don't expect something in return. And the only people in my life that ever received that type of love from me growing up was my nephews, right? I would give and give and give. And, the love that I had for them, just knowing they are happy made me happy. Just knowing that they woke up melted my heart, right? And I was blessed to experience that love with someone, right? It was a blessing to experience that love. I honestly thought I would never experience that love with someone, but I was able to. And for me, it left me in awe that I had the capability of loving someone that isn't my family, doesn't have any blood with me, or the most part isn't my nephews, right? That honestly shocked me that I was able to give from my whole heart, not expect anything, and truly love. So then, with me saying I'm so blessed to have experienced that, you might be like, okay, then what the hell are you talking about entering a season of singleness? Are you not in love? I am in love. And I don't think the love I have for this person will change. But I think for now in my life, I should focus on me. The funny thing is, even though for me, personally acknowledge that, I experienced love for the first time in my life, I've never been single. I probably had a week off or whatever, but I've never been single. And I feel like some girls could understand what I'm going to say, but I've never not had someone in my corner. If I'm taking a break from my partner, there was someone in the corner. It is bad to admit, but I've just never had a moment to myself where it's just me in my own world. And I think for now, in this time period of my life, I want to experience just me. No male attention, no nothing, no need for that nonsense, but just me. And the reason being I'm trying to enter the season of singleness is because not everything is guaranteed in life, Not everything you expect will come the way you be. And sometimes people disappoint you. And after experiencing disappointment with some people in my life, and sometimes myself, I realized that you want to have a great foundation and comfort with the ability and the possibility of having points of your life with singleness. I love the idea of being singleness, but I knew for myself there was a hesitancy, a fear that I would not ever get what I wish for, which is a family. So I think that's why I always had these type of people in my corners. But now, like honestly, now in my life, my focus is me. I do have the ability to love and give out love, but I'm grateful for myself for knowing that I should have a focus, which is me. And my first love is God. So I need to try to strengthen that during this period of singleness. But I wasn't going to do a sit down and talk video without giving some advice on entering a season of singleness for you girlies. Because I know some people, this heartbreak summer. I think I'm experiencing heartbreak summer, but I believe some of you guys would appreciate some advice, because even though I've never truly been single, I've came to love being alone. And that is one thing I'm proud about myself. Whenever I did have people in my life or romantic relationships, I was still able to prioritize myself. So with that being, I'm going to just start giving some advice. No one really wants to be alone in life, and we all have that natural urge and want to be with someone, have our life partner. And I think one thing is we need to trust in God's timing. I honestly am bad because I want to rush God's timing, because if anyone in my circle knows, I believe my purpose in life is to be a mom. It's not very girl power of me, but truly, like, when I think about it, what brings me joy in life is knowing that one day I'll have a family. And God's timing at times, you might feel like, why is it not right now, when you feel like it's right now? But I always say, trust in God. That's like the first thing I would say that anyone should do. And have patience. God is a patient God, and he tests us sometimes, that he tests our patience. But we want to be patient, because one thing is, you don't want to rush and force something that isn't in God's timing, right? So trust in God is like the first thing I always say. Trust in his timing. I know with my whole heart that the person that I pray for will come into my life, and I'll be blessed with the family I want. So even though at times I'm just like, why is it not happening for me? I know that God hears my cries. He hears my prayers, and he'll give what I deserve. So one thing is, when it comes to God's timing, he will make sure this happens. When God has sent the person for you, when they are everything of this. So in 1 Corinthians 13, it says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous. It does not brag, does not get puffed up, does not behave indecently, does not look for its own interest, does not become provoked. It does not keep account of the injury. It does not rejoice over unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. So one thing I know with God's timing is he will provide me someone that is this definition of love. So one day I will meet that person, and if I ever open the scripture, I know that God has put the person that is meant to be with me in my life. So that is one thing. Just don't rush. Enjoy your singleness, because a season of singleness doesn't mean a season of sadness, right? So just don't rush, because God has the perfect person for you. Now, another thing I feel like most girls find so hard to do is find joy with yourself. I used to be like weirded out about doing things alone. And I feel like when you're always in the dating scene, you always have a partner, right? Someone taking you out to dinner, just a man taking the lead. So you're never alone. But one thing I focused on for the past year was finding joy by being myself. I talk a lot, like crazy, and I cannot imagine ever eating dinner by myself, just going out by myself. I used to like force my siblings to go to the mall with me, but now I found joy in myself and take myself out on dates. I allocate one day a week where I dress up all nice. Either I go out to dinner, shopping, read in a park. But the one thing is, I prioritize time with myself. Because one thing is, if you don't know how to enjoy yourself, if you do end up in a relationship, you're gonna be so dependent, like a child stuck to your partner's leg, unable to know what to do with yourself when they're not around. And that is toxic by itself already, but it's toxic for you because you are just showing you have no comfort with being alone. So, like, find joy in yourself. I will say pick up a book and go to a park. Just nice, like something simple like that. Walk down downtown, like go out to downtown. And one thing is, people get shocked, is I travel by myself. I never thought in my whole life I would find joy with that, but I travel by myself, and by doing something like that, I find joy with myself. I'm able to date myself, but also meet people that add to your life rather than in a romantic way. And that leads to the other part, which is surround yourself with friends. During a season of singleness, people tend to confuse it and make it into a season of loneliness. And it is very, very easy when you don't surround yourself by people who love you for you and just want to see you at your happiness or your best. And these always are your friends. I have a group of friends who are at all stages in their life. I got a mommy best friend. I got a newlywed best friend. I got a grown adult best friend. I got like kids best friends. I got elder best friends. I just have friends from all ages. But the one thing is, by surrounding myself with friends, you never give yourself a chance to feel lonely. And that's a big thing. You never want to feel lonely. So surround yourself with them, because if you can't take yourself out on dates, you do have that one girlfriend that could take you out, and that one person you could call. Because I truly miss with relationships or romantic relationships is that one person you could call, talk on the phone, spill out your heart. And if you don't have friends to do that to, you might just want to like go back into a relationship, which isn't the goal, guys. You're trying to enjoy your season of singleness, but like, just surround yourself by friends. Now, I am so bad with this, seeking male validation. As someone like when I was bored back in the day, I'll put a thirst trap, open a dating app, let guys confirm that I'm hot, and then dip. And one thing is, I love myself so much. So I asked myself, what am I doing? Or why am I doing? What am I doing? What is the point of this nonsense? Like, why do I need male validation? It was just something that like, what am I doing? And honestly, the only person that needs to validate you is yourself. It wasn't me doing it out of a lack of love, but it's just because I come from a family that doesn't compliment each other. So with relationships, I was receiving those compliments. And that's like the main reason why I did it. With male validation, it's temporary. It's always things that are not deep within. But when you learn to validate yourself and look in the mirror and say, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are special, you are amazing, you are happy, that validation lasts longer than those who give it to you in a split second. I got so used to guys saying, your eyes are pretty, you got a nice body, this and that it became like, whatever. But when I started giving myself that type of validation, I start to plant it with myself and gain true confidence that I am all of that. you know? Like, now I get the ick and disgusted when a guy compliments me. I would have partners compliment me and I would be disgusted. Like, what is the point of this? But male validation is just temporary, you know? Like, it's not something you need. It's not a must. It's just not, guys. Yeah. Now, my last point in this season of singleness is during this period of singleness, it's best to analyze your traumas and heal it. I know exactly what traumas I have, and like at times you wonder how you're going to heal it. But during this period, you know, don't set a time frame. I kind of did. I gave myself like 2 years to enjoy singleness. Like, I have to do 2 years. But in these 2 years, I have to heal these trauma. Like, you guys, some of the men in my life traumatized me. It is scary. I love myself so much. And the one thing that hurts the most is, you know, sometimes someone can make you feel like you're not enough. And that is one trauma I'm trying to heal. Because one thing is, God created us as a whole, you know? We are enough. So the fact that I let someone make me feel like that, that's a trauma I have to heal. But for, like, you know, the other ladies, like you guys who are entering a season of singleness, this is a chance to fix everything. So you could, when you do enter your next relationship and you exit the season of singleness, we're not perfect, but you have no flaw. And you are sure of yourself. And you understand what triggers you. The first time I did a season of singleness, I healed the trauma of submissiveness. I used to be very, very submissive with my partners. I wouldn't speak up when I needed to speak up. Everything they said was like, you say it, the end, I accept it. I never really spoke my piece. And from that situation, I taught myself that I am my partner's equal. Even though at times they might be my elder, because, you know, age gaps, your partner wants your opinion. You should give your opinion. You know, we are equals. And that was one trauma I had to heal. But that little short period of singleness that I had, I focused on it. And this time with this period of singleness, I really want to make sure that I feel like I'm enough. That I don't let a man let me feel like I'm not enough. And I feel like most girls do experience that and go through this sort of trauma. But it's usually dirty guys that make you feel like that. That let that integrate in your head that you're not enough. And, you know, I think with that trauma, I just need to fix that and like see that I am everything. Because one day I'll meet the man who knows that I'm enough and realize just how blessed they are to have me in their life. For that future man in my life, I don't want to bring any trauma. I feel like it's disservice to them when you bring in traumas. You know, like, love is meant to heal you, but you don't want your partner to be the one filling in the cracks. At most, you want your partner to put the Band-Aid and a warm blanket onto you for the traumas you have, but not completely fill it in. Because in that love, you know, it's not the best. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am scared to see how long I could last in this season of singleness. Because I'm a lover girl. You guys, I'm a lover girl. Like, I love love. And love is so beautiful. And all I ask for in life is to receive such a love again. You know? I don't know. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about this, you know, entering a season of singleness and give some advice, because it is hard. It is hard out here and the streets are horrible, but I think it's better to stay within the house than go out in the street and hurt yourself. You know, with these seasons of singleness, it's very simple. You just want to trust in God. Find joy with yourself. Heal your trauma. and surround yourself with friends and stop seeking male validations. Like, those things honestly would make a season of singleness so easy. And listen, I am trying my best to do it. I may stumble, I may kiss a few frogs, but the one thing is I'm keeping to myself. Yeah, I'm just keeping to myself. Guys, if I tell you, like, the one thing I miss so much is, like, I don't think God gave me these big lips for them not to be used. Now I'm gonna cover my lips. No, I want to cover my nails. They're messed up. But yeah, you ladies, or you guys, I just wish you guys the best. You know, a season of singleness is not easy, but I think the payout and what you receive in the end is so beautiful. You know, be selfish with yourself, love yourself, focus on yourself, because what comes next after a season of singleness, hopefully, is just pure joy. And for me, a 5 carat engagement ring. Either way, guys, I want to leave you guys to go.